Hey everybody, welcome back. Psychedelic here. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a while since I've done anything on the record update side of things. The last 2 to 3 weeks, I've just never had a good free day to just kind of settle down and record anything. It seems like the whole past month of June, I've just been kind of busy with life. And I haven't really bought too many items since I've been gone either, so it kind of equals out, I guess. But I made a psychedelic trip just to kind of keep you guys entertained or whatever. I'm glad you guys enjoy that. For the few out there that enjoy that content, I've also made a playlist for psychedelic trip videos if you guys want to check those out. There's a playlist for it. So I also want to mention too, I'm not one for like throwing plugs at people, but if you guys do want to follow me on Instagram, that's where I'm most active on. So, and I post on there occasionally as well. I mean, I'm not like super active, but it's my favorite social media. So follow me on there. I'm under Dr. Mind with a Y. There should be a link in my YouTube page, my YouTube channel. If you go to the main page, it's on like the right side. You can click on there and give me a follow if you'd like. So I'm always sharing reviews, kind of more in-depth, kind of critical reviews, I guess you could say. I try to put some thought into them, but lately I've been kind of getting burnt out on doing all that. I don't know why. It's just, I guess things going on in this life just kind of made me, put all that stuff aside. My poster is in motion, apparently. I got a fan blowing on me, so it's kind of warm in here. Anyways, let's begin. And speaking of that, it's also July, so it's kind of, I had that all planned out, in case you didn't know. That was all part of the plan of this video. Anyways, got some online finds, plus some stuff I found locally. And in this video, I'm just going to take my time. If I hit the 30-minute mark, I don't give a shit. You're going to have to stay for those 30 minutes. Picked up a couple 45s online, and I've explained before in the past, 45s for me, I really don't feel like shelling out $200 for 2 songs, but if I find the right one that I want, I will definitely scoop it up. And this first one, I was kind of shocked when I first saw it. I was like looking at the price tag, kind of checking out if it was like a reissue or something, like a bootleg reissue. This is the real deal. And this was on the newly listed page on eBay one day, and this is the Galaxy's 4 with Don't Lose Your Mind, with the flip side Piccadilly Circus. And I believe this is the original company sleeve. It's a white label promo, VG Plus, $20. Damn, it's a good price. Yes, please. I will scoop it up for that price. So this track here, Don't Lose Your Mind, it's kind of one of those tracks you always find on like the side of like psychedelic, songs on YouTube. It's always on that sidebar. It's got a lot of views. I think it's got like 400, 500,000 views. It's kind of for good reason. It's a very essential garage psych track. If you don't know this track, why are you watching this, You should already be aware of this track. This is just a killer slice of both, garage elements working through it, but a lot of psychedelic, mishmash going on, especially near the end of the track. They have this kind of like soaring siren freak out going on. It's really good. The flip side, Piccadilly Circus, is kind of more of like a more upbeat rhythm and blues instrumental, but it's definitely part of the 60s sound for sure. Very, very top-notch two-sider. If you guys watched my Sioux Falls hunting video, which I did like a year ago now, this was the first track I featured in that video. And some of you guys were kind of asking like, what was the name of that song? And this is the one. This is Never Sad by the Sunstone Lollipop. It's a band based out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. They had like 2 other singles, I believe, and they had like another single under a different name. It's on the Kel label, which apparently was the 2 brothers of this band. That was their father's name, Kelly, and he was behind this kind of management, I guess. It was like a trio. It was not necessarily a power trio, but it was kind of more a pop psych trio. Sunshine pop mixed with some psych rock elements for sure, but never sad. Wow. As far as like some of the best singles I've discovered in the last year or so, this one's always on repeat, man. It's very catchy. I mean, it's not catchy at first. It's one of those tracks where you listen to it after a while, you start to realize they really thought this arrangement out very, very spot on. It's got a lot of great melodic changes, tempo changes, great lyrics, very 60s inspired, flower power inspired. But the B-side I had never heard before till I got this. Just as good, man. Forever Be in Doubt. I was actually just going to upload this track onto YouTube, and looks like somebody already beat me to it like last week or so. And it makes me wonder if that was the guy I bought this from. I'm not sure, but on Discogs it says it came out in 68, but the date on here says 6/28/67, so it kind of sounds more mid-67, so I'm going to kind of assume it's that date, but yeah, check that track out. It is on YouTube. It's kind of hard to search because I think someone just uploaded the track off the comp that it's comped on. It's on the Psychedelic States, Wisconsin of the 1960s CD. So highly recommend checking that track out. Can't rave about it enough. I kind of let it pass for one day when I saw it for sale, and I was like, I gotta get this. I'll never see it again. Seems to be pretty scarce. So right now I'm going to show some of the more local stuff that I picked up recently. This is kind of an upgrade for me. Kind of nice to spot this. So I can't recall the name of this antique shop, but oftentimes I've only went in there like maybe a couple times, and both times I left unhappy because they're kind of more focused on like furniture, antiques, not necessarily any records. But to my surprise, they kind of spiced out their record selection a little bit more, and this one popped out because it was laminated pink. And this is a UK press of Frigid Pink on Duram label. I kind of knew it had a UK press, but I couldn't remember if it was like on Parrot, which is the US copy. But to see it's on Duram, with the whole stereo mono indicator on the back, I was like, never really seen a copy in person. This is kind of neat. And so being a laminated cover, it doesn't necessarily get ring wear easily. Get a shot of the Duram label here. Very nice. And yeah, I definitely traded, as soon as I got this, I traded my old copy to the shop. And with that trade, I picked up another record in this batch, which I will share here in a second. Yeah, Frigid Pink. I mean, I don't get too hyped up about blues rock, but this is definitely one of the better ones for my taste. Very hard rock centric, light tinges of psych in the mix. Definitely got some Stingray fuzz guitar moving throughout. Crying Shame. It's definitely one that stands out in that realm. Tell Me Why. End of the Line. That was kind of how I was introduced to him with that single. The flip side of Sing a Song for Freedom. They put End of the Line on B-side, and that was my exposure to them. Of course, they're most famous for House of the Rising Sun, which is a killer version. The only weak moment on here is the closing track, Booze and Blues. Yeah, you can about imagine what that sounds like. So, very slow, very formulaic chord changes in the blues fashion, which I can live without. This next one, this is one that I was kind of surprised how much I like this one. Heard a lot of hype about this. It's got some kind of small fame, online, and I heard some people really writing this one up, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. This is probably the only record shop in town here in Lincoln where I don't visit too often. Oftentimes their used selections they don't change a whole lot, and I swear I saw this record in there last time. And the last time I was in there was probably January of this year. So it doesn't change a whole lot, but I'm glad this was still there. Picked up on Jon Stewart and Buffy Ford, their album Signals Through the Glass. I gave this like 2 full spins. This is a reissue on Capitol. It's an early reissue from like '79, I think. I think he had a hit, Jon Stewart. He had a hit with Stevie Nicks, Gold, which I'd never heard the song. But definitely recognize the cover that hit was on. You see it all the time in the thrift stores. Yeah, it's on a green Capitol. And this is very good. It's not necessarily psych folk. I mean, it's got tinges of that, but it's very chamber folk driven, you know, kind of in a Nancy Sinatra, Lee Hazelwood kind of vibe. Kind of somber at times, kind of Baroque pop, chamber folk. You know, we got some strings working in the mix, but it's, for the most part, pretty quiet. But you can definitely tell it's a 60s record considering, you know, the sound collage of like sound effects. I think there's like a train rolling through, you know. Only the type of thing you would hear in like 60s records. But there's a lot of great highlights on here. Holly on My Mind, Nebraska Widow, and Draft Age, closing out the album. It almost sounds like it's kind of like a timepiece or like a time capsule, you know, going back to like the late 1800s, you know, the pioneer days. Almost like it's writing songs about, you know, the times that they lived in. Very, very cool record. And you can spot this for like $10 all day. So it's kind of worth checking out. It's good stuff. And then went over to Vintage Vinyl, and he had gotten some new used records in, and some in the psych realm. They had like Mind Garage's second album, which I'm only really after their first one. The second one's not as great. Fear Itself, which I already have, and Mad River. I'm trying to think. Had some pretty cool titles in there, but I already had them. And this is one I spotted them there last couple times I was in the shop, and I figured maybe it had sold by then. But it was still there, and I got it for half the price with a $20 credit. This is The Damnation of Adam Blessing. This is kind of a classic psych record that you see a lot of people talking about. Finally own it. I've always had their second record for, you know, maybe 3 or 4 years now, and just you just don't see this very often, like in the wild or at used shops all the time. Oftentimes it does have like a big cutout, like right there usually, I think. It's got a small one right there. But for the price, you know, I was pretty happy with it. Plays great. I guess it's got 2 different variations of the United Artists label. I think this is like the second pressing. I think the first press has like the more, what is it, orange and purple label. Yeah, so for the most part, this is very much hard rock based. It's got some progressive elements moving throughout, and a couple bluesy moments that I can definitely live without. But for the most part, it's got a couple covers in here, but they do a great job at it. Morning Dew. I may prefer Nova Local's cover of that song, but they also do Last Train to Clarksville. Not a good cover, I don't think. But the track after that, Dreams, might be my favorite off here. Dreams, Cookbook. But yeah, if you're just getting into psych rock or anything of that nature from the late 60s, this is definitely a very good entry-level, kind of beginner record to kind of dive into. Definitely, so worth investigating. Based out of Cleveland, Ohio. Like I said, I do prefer their second album, probably just more for its originality and the fact it's more hard rock based. I feel like they kind of stepped it up just a notch on that one, so yeah, worth investigating. Got 2 more here from online. This one kind of inspired me. I think Don kind of inspired me to pick this one up because he had brought it to my attention. They were reissuing this one, and I do believe he shared it in a video a long time ago. This came out last year. This is Ashra Temple with Schwingagen, however you want to pronounce it. Translates to vibration. This came out in '72, and as you guys know, I've been on a very big krautrock kick, even to this day. You know, last year I was really listening to all kinds of stuff like Embryo and Zayan and among many others. Anyways, this is the latest reissue from 2021. Got this used on Discogs. Totally fine with that. I'm not really down for like owning original copies of German records. I mean, as you guys know, they're pretty terribly scarce to get in clean shape, and I don't always want to get like a whole ton of imports from overseas, especially the way the market is right now. But I am satisfied with this. So, as far as Asherah Temple's catalog goes, I mean, I'm a huge fan of like all their material from the 70s, their 5 albums. I want to say the first one is probably maybe the more preferred favorite, but this is right up there. Just masterclass, space rock, you know, krautrock bliss for sure. There's 3 tracks in total, but you know, both sides really work as like a suite. You have the light and darkness suite on side 1. Look at your sun, flowers must die. So like light and darkness. So you have kind of a light opening track, and then it kind of gets more cloudy and more visceral near the end. But I think side 2, the title track, is my favorite off here. The thing I love about this band, they really take their time to like lengthen these tracks out. They just have like a lot of patience. I mean, it almost takes like 10 or so minutes till the track actually starts to go places and starts to change a little bit. I've always kind of admired that aspect about this band. So, Asherah Temple, check it out. These guys were smoking something else. Very ahead of their time. Definitely, so. Okay, and the last one I picked up, this one's kind of unique. This is one I've been kind of putting off for a while. Don't know why. But it's a compilation that Numero Group put out a couple years ago now. This is Lewis Wayne, Moody High, 1967. And as you can tell, it kind of looks like a yearbook. It is. The textured cover. And it's got like the gold emblem printed in. And this is all fictitious writing. Opens up like a yearbook. And I haven't looked too in depth in this yet, but it looks like some of the band members in this compilation are featured like on the side, like these are the classmates. You know, it has all these doodlings about like, you know, whoever this Barry guy is. All the classmates are writing to Barry about Cheryl and him breaking up, and it's kind of funny how that gets incorporated into this compilation. But there's no like liner notes or anything. This is all it is. You know, it just has like the info within. So the whole concept behind this is basically a lot of teenage garage bands that have a lot of like moody and downer kind of pop tunes within this mix. This is fantastic stuff. There's a couple of bands from Omaha in here, the Invaders and Yellow Hair. I would definitely love to scoop those singles up locally if I could. But this whole thing kind of grows on you. You know, you may listen to it the first couple times, may think it, you know, may not be your thing, but all these groups, they almost sound like they recorded this all in the same space, like the same gymnasium almost. It's almost like, in my head, I like to imagine these are teen bands that are playing for like this talent show or something. And it's just all these like crooner, you know, downer garage pop tunes. Very, very well done, very consistent mix on this one. The one that really reeled me in on this was the track by Bob Kirk and The Word, Summer Winds, which is kind of near the end of the record. It's got a kind of very singer-songwriter vibe, but like I said, very downer. And kind of got this kind of eerie undercurrent moving throughout the mix of this melody. It's really nice, kind of almost psych folk inspired. But yeah, the Invaders, Dee and the Sugarcane Factory, Fade Sun Fade. That band is actually based out of Hawaii. You can definitely tell too, it's got this kind of tropical flavor in it that really works well. You know, there may be a girl group or two on here. I'm not sure, but there's some female-led vocals on here too that really work. Cool concept. Anyways, guys, that about wraps it up. So I think I just have like one record coming in from France, actually. And I am super pumped to get this one. This is a nice original on the RAM as well. Stay tuned for that. So other than that, just going to be kicking back, enjoying the rest of my weekend. So hope you guys are staying in touch, staying cool, and have a safe 4th if you celebrate. And we shall see you soon.